Hello, I'm Whisper. This is Dyson Sphere Program. We are back in our Sandbox game, and the reason is I want to make a few tileable blueprints and then relook at my old norm because the way I want to do things has changed a bit. So, first thing we're going to do here is make a new blueprint book. This is going to be for my chilled game. I was playing a chillaxed game. Unfortunately, I've been so darn busy that I completely stopped playing for about a month. So I have lost in my brain where I was and what the plan was. And in certain ways I wasn't so happy with it. Turns out that infinite resources are a little bit too chill. For my taste at least. There's nothing to push me out. So at any rate, let's just see what we've got. We might take a few more. And another one of these. That should be everything we need. So, the first thing to start with is going to be, we'll just put down, just turn off all the blinky and the power warnings. Right. There we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the motor ones as blueprints, little short tileables. So 2 assemblers makes 1 a second type of thing. In this case 0.75, because it's a Mark 1 and it only runs at 0.75. But that's cool. It's the proportions. I suppose you'd say it's the ratios without getting too pedantic about it. So what we will have is we will have we'll just do that up to there so that we can attach them. So what we'll have is we will have the magnetic coils there. We will have the iron plate, iron ingot there, gears. And this will be our output belt where we put the motors. Then it'll just be that, 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 and that. And we'll just copy that and give it a trial to make absolutely certain. And the first thing I can do is I can throw down a power pole in the middle of each, can't I? Right, so that should make roughly 1 a second. Or 0.75 a second, 1 a second for Mark 2s, 1.5 a second for Mark 3s. That's enough for that one. So let's just do this one into our new blueprint book. Let's call this one what can we call this? We'll just call this tiles. That'll do us. Let's move this over out of the way. Chill, tiles, electric motors. will do enough as a description. Now let's just get over here and we'll say we need 2, 1 and 1 every second. So let's put on some attributes. Oops. I kind of like this, it makes it easier to see what we're doing. One gear, one, those save changes, and there we are. So let's now do turbines, and if we put these at roughly the same place, oops, two are required to make one turbine a second, roughly again. Now we are going to already have coming in here the 2 items we want, and this will be our outgoing belt. So this again, and I don't know why I'm doing that, just copy paste. I can do that here though. Pattern. So if we want to do 2 in a second roughly, and then we would put in 4 of these for every one of these, just be in proportion, because they need 2 of these a second and 2 of these a second. Alright, let's put that in our spot here. Oops. Done. This just sort of speeds things up. So if I want to do, say, 2 turbines a second, we'll put down that and that. And then we'd go, well, we need 4 motors a second. Oh. Except that we would not do that, we would chop that off, because we don't want the iron getting stuck on there. One, 2, 3, 4 electric motors a second. Easy peasy. Alright, let's do the next one. Supermagnetic Rings. 3 seconds per to make. Okay, that's relatively simple. This would make roughly, again, 1 per second. Whoops. And we will bring it in. That would be the turbines. And I guess down here we would bring in the magnets. Magnets first, since we need 3 times as many. Just double check that. Yep, 3 magnets, 1 energetic graphite. Excellent. And I guess our output belt would be there. We may as well put 2 in there. So, yeah, right. Make the blueprint first. Roughly. Two of these, 3 of these, 1 of these, and output is 1 of these. Alright, just a quick test. 1 of these. Requires 2 of these. Two of them, not 1. And that requires, just trim off that, 4 of these, 2, 3, and 4. Easy, easy, easy. Alright, we'll take that out. So we've got that. Now the last tile I want to do is going to be particle containers, 4 seconds. You can always do that one as well, but I tend to prefer this. I find that I just don't want to use 10 unipolar magnets per. It's kind of, to me, wasteful. I mean, if I'm only going to mission complete, yeah, sure. But then if I'm only going to mission complete, I probably won't get to picking up unipolar magnets. Unless it's from Darkfall, so who knows. Let's see. What was that again? 4 seconds? 4 seconds, so 4 assemblers. We have our turbines coming in. We will have our... what are the other ones? Copper and graphene. 2 and 2, so it doesn't matter which. Alright. Technically by this time we're getting fairly fast sorters, so it doesn't matter. But I still like to put the bigger inputs at the beginning or closest to the assembler, and this will be that. And that will make roughly 1 per. Alright, let's put that into our blueprint. I should start putting these up on Dyson Sphere Program blueprints. So, I mean, players all use them, and it's always handy. So 2 of those. 2 of these and 2 of these. And the output is 1 particle container. There we are. Basically good enough to make a whole bunch of stuff. We want 1 a second, there we go. Generally handy. Okay, so that's the tiles that I wanted to make. Now let us have a look at the maul. Well, we'll start off with the belts. So this is my old belt maul, which I used when I was going relatively fast. And it's just basically don't put them down till you need each piece. And these make roughly 6 a second. Okay, times 0.75, you get the point. Sort them all. This was a bit more annoying because sorters are relatively slow to make. You're making 3 a second here, roughly. You're making 1 a second here, roughly, which can be quite irritating. That's why I shoved down massive amounts there. 4 a second. These then use, if we look at the building, 1 a second per to make. 1 a second to make 2, which is always handy. That means that if you've only got 1, it takes 2 seconds to make because it can't keep up, so that's why I've got 2. Same with the next level. Takes 2 seconds per to make. Sorry, 1 second per to make 2. Let's have a look. There we are. And while we're here, pile sorters, 1 second to make 1. So that one ends up making 2 pile sorters a second. Which is, yeah, it works, but it's kind of long and annoying. Well, I'm going to go for a little more chillaxed. Don't need quite so much. Now, I wonder actually, can I make this first bit? Let's give that a try. We'll see if I can make this first bit from 1. I don't want any of those. How do I want to do this? I want to put you here. Yeah. We will direct inject them into here. Because these are not fast sorters, and they're having to go more than 1, we have to use 3 sorters. This one here, no. These ones don't need to be fast. We just need to pull up this, not that one actually. I'll pull up this. Because we have to put these on a belt, we can't just... Well, technically I could put one in the middle, but that just becomes a pain in the bum. Where we got that set to? 600 ought to be enough. 1500 ought to be enough. So that is going to be Mark 1 sorters. Let's put essentially a belt here and another belt here. This one I will make iron ingot. This one I will make circuits because this needs circuits. From memory it's just 1, 1 and 1. This one is 2 and 1 gear, right. You know what? We are just going to make that on site. So the only thing we need to push in is going to be iron and our circuit boards. Let's see. So we'll pull one here, put you direct into there. We'll pull one here, pull one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of these. So it's the iron, the circuit board, iron, circuit board, iron, here, iron. Because these only run at 0.75, that means it's 1.5 iron plate or iron ingots a second, which is cool because we can only chew down 1.5 a second anyway. And that will pull in 1.5 a second, so I don't need to put down a second one here. I will actually put you there, get rid of that one. Now, do I want that? Probably not. I definitely want something there though. take out that. You in the middle. And we'll put that sorter on the outside. Alright, is this under, I think it's the 150 limit for the first level of mass construction. Yeah, 150. Do we get 150? Oh, 47, easy peasy. Alright, well, yeah, definitely. Not going to worry about that. We'll easily go in at the beginning of our setup. So let's see, what should we call this one? Let's put this and we'll go built and we'll go sorter. Okay, now let me just get out of there. So we need 2 iron, 3 iron, or 5 iron ingots. Oops, why did I turn that off? Circuit board. And we get 3 Mark 1 belts, roughly, and 2 Mark 1 sorters. That saves a bit of messing around. Alright, the next one will be Mark II sorters. We're only going to need 1 assembly for this. Assembler, not assembly. Huh? Oh, that's the next thing in the chain, yes. We'll take 2 from there, or 1 point whatever. And we will take 1 motor. Direct injection. Since we do need 2, we will just use 2 sorters. Otherwise it will go too slow. And we will assume that we will bring in electric motors there, and the output can go direct injected into, is that going to be close enough? Could do. We're still using Mark 1s. We will not assume that we're going to have any Mark 2s handy at this point. 1 into there, 2 into there. I think we can... Should we leave it at that? What do we have here? 3. Yeah, we'll go 4. When we put this in, we will basically adjust it. We'll put that there. This is going to be a very tiny Alright. Yeah. Very, very tiny. I do that, we should be able to just paste it on there. So... the output is going to be these. Roughly. Okay, 2 Mark 1, 1 electric motor. That makes 2 Mark 2. Let me just double check the tech tree. I'm fairly sure that we don't get Mark 2 belts early. No, we just get the sorter. We get the Mark II belts and the Mark III sorter here. So that, then the Mark III belts there, and pile sorters there. Alright, a little build that includes, yeah, a little pastable that includes that. So we are going to go down a bit. We'll see about that in a minute. First, we'll put down this because we want our Mark II belts. And again, not fast sorters at this point. Well, probably fast, but not going to bet on it. Double check, it's 3 and 1. It is 3 and 1. And we put you into here. $1,500. Yeah, that's probably plenty. That's 15, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Too close there. Mark 3. We may actually bring you down there to there and leave you like that. Yes, I think we will. And we will put you into here. At this point, I'll just use Mark 1s because reasons, i.e. no reason in particular. 4, 4, 3, yeah. One of those a second, one of those a second. Pretty much done. And oh, Slightly. Let's cancel this. I put 3 there, don't need 3. That works. Just 2. Yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure of. Try again. Dirty facilities. These are kind of small, aren't they? Mark 3 sorters, Mark 2 belts. We start with 2 Mark 2 sorters. What on earth is FJQ2? I think that must be placeholder text that someone's put there. 3 Mark 1 belts. 1 electric motor. No, not 1 electric motor. 2 electromagnetic turbines. Outputs. 2. No, Mark 3s. And 3 Mark 2 belts. Yep. This is because we're not going fast, so it's easy enough. Alright, let's do the Mark 3. We will assume that we're going to have a supermagnetic ring here. Just double check everything else that's needed. That just graphene. Covers that, yep. That covers that. I'll put the power area back on so we can see that. But we'll definitely leave the unpowered alarm off. Let's see. That's pretty much everything. That particular one. Relatively minor, or small, I should say, not minor. Takes some fairly high-end pieces, doesn't it? Alright. Okay, 3 belts. And I think I need to have a look. Is it 3 belts and 1 and 1 graphene? And supermagnetic rings, alright. Where are we? Graphene. Output is 3 belts. Did I get the right belt? Did not. Mark 2 belt, thank you. Approximately. Save. Oh. Put the belt there. Save. And then we'll do one last one, which will be down here. And that will be our pile sorters. Too close. And makes 1. Yeah, those are quite annoying when you look at them. You only need 1 belt because we're only producing 1 a second roughly. Sorry, 1 sorter. Bum 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 bum. Do we kind of want 1 here? Now we need supermagnetic rings, and we need processors, 1 and 1 of each. Processors. And this should keep us going through to the end game, because we're not going ultra fast. Alright, let us copy this. And I'll take that as well, just the belt, so that we can paste onto it. It's actually surprisingly compact in a way. When you look at it. Two Mark IIIs, if I remember correctly. Interesting. 1 processor in Supermagnetic Ring, 1 processor. Output is 1 pile sorter. And there we go. So 5 blueprints to go from start to end. Now if I've done this right, let's just test them. Every single one of these will, thankfully. They're very short, is what I'm trying to say. Too close there. I am not a fan of that particular mechanic, as in not being able to put the Mark 1 depots any particularly closer. Mark 2 sorters, Mark 3 belts. Oh, what did I just do there? Derp. Yeah, that was not smart. Get rid of. Maybe I should number those. Yep. I should rename that one actually. Mark II bell. Belts then sorters. And we'll make those belts then sorters. Mark II belts, Mark III sorters. More annoying. Save. Ugh. Do I have to put it in here? I probably do, don't I? I do. Alright, well, that's the way things are. This one will be 1. This one will be 3. This one will be, we'll just leave, I'll put 4 there, just to be consistent. Alright, so, got the Mark 1, Mark 2 sorters, Mark 2 belts and Mark 3 sorters. Mark 3 belts. And then finally, 4 as pile sorters, and you go to there. Alright, upgrades done as required. Alright, that works quite nicely, I think. Now the next thing we're going to look at, well, we're running a bit of, that's taken 49 minutes. I'll stop there, we'll just have that one as the belts and sorters mall. And I'll do the mall later in another episode, or just a separate episode. Cheers.